It's pretty common knowledge that the government shutdown is simply to build a wall bordering the United States and Mexico, but that simply isn't the truth. There's actually a lot more to it than everyone believes. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in today. Today we're going to be discussing the truth behind the United States border wall that Trump is trying to get built, as well as the real reason behind the government shutdown of 2018 and 2019. Now there's actually a lot more to this than people think, so let's go ahead and just start from the beginning. And a good place to start would be the history of the Trump family. Now, it's pretty common knowledge that the Trump family has been rich for a long time, but did you guys know that they actually gained most of their money from building houses on land and selling them and renting them out? They got government funding that was highly overpriced and then way underfunded and cut as many corners as they possibly could to build the properties for as cheaply as possible, thus making the Trumps millionaires. Now this is important because of what the wall was planned to be built with. Now originally it was planned to be built with concrete, which is what Trump said during his election. And then in the middle of December 2018, it suddenly got switched to steel. Now many people just looked at this as a point to complain over, but there's actually a lot more behind it. Now, Trump being a billionaire is going to completely take advantage of this, investing billions of dollars into the steel industry, as well as making many backroom deals, securing the steel companies that are actually going to be building this, thus creating Trump billions of more dollars. Now this was pretty unclear from the very beginning. During his election, when he decided to claim that the wall was going to be built out of concrete, he was already investing millions of dollars into the steel industry. Now if he would have claimed steel from the very beginning, this would have immediately connected the dots of what he wanted. Now, by changing it halfway through and then getting the entire thing pushed under the rug, no one even realizes that Trump is going to be banking billions of dollars out of the steel industry. Now, let's move on to what's going to happen because of this. At the very beginning, Trump had so much support over the wall, and now there's no support really at all. Now, this is actually going to cause catastrophic consequences to the United States, because at the very beginning, everyone was on board and the plan was going absolutely perfectly. But now that no one in the Senate wants to build the wall, there's going to be a massive casualties in the United States. Now you can see that Trump is trying to avoid this at absolutely all costs, but it will happen if the wall does not get built. At first, it started off with him claiming that 10 terrorists were able to enter the United States from Mexico, and everyone was pretty terrified about this. But if you look all over news media, there's actually no terrorist accounts anywhere in the government. Now, if you try to search for it, you can't really find much, and there's no names, there's no anything on these terrorists. But this is only the very beginning. This still didn't get enough support for Trump to build his wall, so he decided to have a press conference over a government shutdown. Now this was planned out for a while, Trump threatening to shut down the government if he couldn't get $5.7 billion worth of US funding in order to fund the wall. Now all of this money was supposed to come out of the Pentagon's Black Budget project, although many people believe that it's supposed to come out of the tax dollars, which the Black Budget in the Pentagon is actually US tax dollars. But because of this, the effects on the United States over the government shutdown is catastrophically worse. Due to the government shutdown, millions of Americans will no longer receive government assistance. Now this includes food stamps, all SNAP benefits, WIC, which is Women, Infant, Children, Section 8 housing, and even more so, the IRS will be shut down. And because of this, most Americans will not receive tax refunds in February 2019. Now, this is $109 billion that's about to not enter the economy because of the shutdown. $109 billion not entering the economy is enough to cause the United States to enter another recession. Now, this would be way worse for Americans than the recession of 2008 and the housing crisis. Most median to low income families will be forced to sell off whatever property they do own, and this will cause the 1% and the high income families to be able to buy up as many properties as they possibly can. This will cause big companies to buy as many properties as possible, as well as force banks to foreclose on low income families. Now this just diverts even more money up the pyramid to the 1% and to the wealthy families. Luckily for Trump, he's come fully prepared. He's fully prepared to invest millions of dollars into property around the United States. So one way or another, Trump is either able to force the shutdown of the United States, causing another recession, thus making him billions of dollars, or if he gets what he originally wanted, he's able to build the wall and fund most of it, causing him to gain billions of dollars. But this entire proposal is not going to be very easy. He's already made up that 10 terrorists entered the United States from Mexico, claiming that they were members of ISIS, and he very proudly stands behind this fact, that 10 terrorists were captured trying to enter the United States. But if you try to look up this information on any government website trying to figure out who these terrorists was, or even in the media, you come up with nothing. Trump stands behind a couple of facts on this point. Now, he says that the cartels in Mexico are trying to gain drug trade through the United States as well as cause terror in the United States, which currently there is no proof that they are trying to cause terror in the United States, but drugs is one big problem. Now, the fact that Trump is claiming that these people are terrorists and members of the cartel or ISIS or whatever story he decides to stick with, he's claiming that these people are terrorists, and terrorists cause terror on the United States. Now, if Mexico was actually trying to cause terror, that would be one thing, but the fact is, they're not. So that means Trump is going to have to manufacture terror in the United States from Mexico. This means that there will be an attack soon if he doesn't get what he wants. Trump's original plan was if he can't get the wall through funding, he's going to shut down the government, and if Trump still doesn't get his wall, he will cause a national state of emergency, which will allow him to immediately get money from the Pentagon's Black Budget Project in order to build his wall. Now, this is huge because he can get a lot more than $5.7 billion. He can get as much money as he needs in order to fund the entire project. Then, Trump will get unlimited access to as many Pentagon funds as he needs in order to build the wall for as much money as he wants. All of this money will immediately go to the companies building the wall and then directly back into Trump's bank accounts. This project is estimated by Trump's administration to last only 2 years, but it's actually expected to go on for a lot longer than that. The real answer no one knows because the Trump administration will then drag it out to as long as possible, costing the taxpayers of America as much money as they want in order to get all of that money back. And if you found this video to be informative or helpful in any way, please go ahead, hit that like button, and subscribe for more updates. I'll try to keep you guys updated on this as much as I possibly can.